What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcasts. I'm Justin, here with Meelz. What's going on, Meelz?
We're halfway through the year already, man. How fucking insane is this?
Terrible. I'm shook.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's fucking crazy.
I am. Yeah.
So we're in the second half of the year already. I have three things. You know me.
Three.
I come with things.
Three. It's always three too.
I don't want to boggle us down. First thing, well, actually, this four things. So first thing I'm gonna say, because I don't want to bury the lead. Please check out our exclusive interview with Obafemi. And shout out to my niece in the background who's going crazy over that. But please check out our interview with Obafemi. It is on YouTube. I implore people to definitely check it out on YouTube. I'm trying to get more people to YouTube. People are listening to the podcast on YouTube. It's crazy. Like, we getting some views on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you guys check in. Exclusive full interview with Cyrus and I talking to Obafemi. He's a great guy. Very smart, very quick-witted. My favorite part of the interview was asking him how did he feel to be, because he played, remember when Hank was a security member?
Yes.
He was one of Hank's buddies. And I asked him, how did you feel to play one of his security? And he was like, what do you mean? I've never done that before. And I was like, bro, it's on your Instagram. So we both laughed.
Oh, you're trying to kayfabe you.
Yeah. I was like, bro, it's on your Instagram, bro. I didn't post it. So probably, I don't know if he knows what's being posted on his Instagram. He has to. Fuck that.
He was trying to kayfabe you.
Yeah. But either way, it's a great interview. Very light, very awesome. He's a cool guy. Looking forward to see what they do at NXT Heatwave on Saturday. But actual first thing, all right? So last week I'm watching TV, which is very, very rare.
Hopefully not the BET Awards.
No, but we'll get to that. But okay. I was watching TV. I forgot what I was watching. And then a commercial came up for Post Malone's tour. And okay. I could not believe I could not believe what I was seeing. You would have thought this man was doing country his entire life, bro. The way he was jigging and beer and tank top and boot cut jeans and doing all these things.
It sounds like you're describing Kevin Gates, but go ahead.
What do we make of this Post Malone malarkey? I'm calling him Post Malarkey because I can't listen to congratulations anymore. I feel like I've been had. I feel like I've been led astray.
He is pre-current and post malarkey for sure. But listen, man, you know, I always say this, especially about white people who enter hip hop. I say it's only a matter of time before that acoustic guitar gets whipped out and they start playing that guitar like they never even knew us. And you know what? To his credit, I will say Post has given a lot of people in our culture diamond records. Quavo, Ty Dolla $ign's got a diamond record with him, I believe, with Psycho. Mm-hmm. A lot of black artists, but I think Sway Lee as well. They got a diamond. What is it? 4 or 5 times diamond. It's almost
it's nuts.
Yeah, like this Sunflower is one of the biggest songs of all time, which is crazy to think about. But you know, I think that with Post, what got me was his comments about hip hop a long time ago. And I think that for someone that is, I mean, let's just say like the guy he's extremely talented for what he does. So the fact that he could cross over, it's not a surprise that he could cross over in the country and do well there as well. Obviously because he's white, but obviously because he actually he carries a tune, you know what I'm saying? He has the vocals for it. But I think that we let people in too easily. You know what I mean? Like there's no vetting process. With a vetting process for like a white rapper, it needs to be like, okay, in 5 years, you can't do acoustic guitars for 5 years. You actually got to live in this culture for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be like a addendum to his contract to join in the hip hop culture before he can do that. Because, you know, when you see stuff like that, you're just like, damn, well, what were we? And it becomes obvious what we were. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at his discography right now. you can see where it begins to change. His first album, Stony. Then Beer Bongs and Bentleys. That's when it started getting weird. Hollywood Bleeding is the third one. That was like his like. I don't know what that. Yeah, it sounded like he was trying some weekend shit. Then 12 Karat Toothache. This is country right here.
That did not hear that record. And actually, Mark was like, "Did y'all see that this record came out?" And I was like, "I did not see that it came out."
It had the Doja Cat record on it. That's the only thing I remember from it. I don't even remember what the Doja Cat records sound like, but I just know it had Doja Cat record on it. And then his self-titled, I guess, Austin. I was like, okay, he's in his bag. This is it said synth pop when it describes it on fucking Wikipedia. And now he's got F1 Trillion, which is the most confirmed guest appearances from Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton, Luke Combs, and Chris Stapleton. The 4 white country guys at Apocalypse.
Number one, he's been number 1 on the charts for 3 weeks, I believe. He's been that song with Morgan Wallen. What was it called? Needed a break? Needed a beer? What was it called? My mistake? What was it?
Pour me a drink.
There you go.
No. If I had some help, I'm sorry.
There you go. It was one of those. You know, like that shit is doing well. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm post rap anyway, so I'm all for it. Go ahead, it's white boy summer, bro. Just anything to wash out whatever the hell else is going on, you know, in hip hop right now. Because I think that again, there's nothing really feel good going on in hip hop right now. So if Post Malone's bringing that vibe, then I'm all for it.
All right, next topic. I know you're probably going to discuss this on Black Print eventually, but I want to prep you for it. Maybe Are we as a society post award show? Like, do we need to move on from the concept of what like award shows on television? Because it doesn't really seem like they're really necessary anymore, in my opinion.
I would say that we always should have been post award show. What is the purpose of an award show anymore? What, like Nas said on Power 105 long ago in your city? What is an award?
Sound like a nigga who never won one.
Gives me an award every day I wake up.
Sound like a rich nigga who never won one.
No, I think that the issue with the award shows is that there are very few stars. I think that the atypical star of today is not what it used to be. It's not what it once was. It used to be Chris Rock hosting these shows, and it used to be so many people from
would go. Like, award show culture is kind of dead, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, people don't go because there's award shows have become so politicized that it's not about who is really the best anymore. It's so politicized to the point where even if you're not the best, no one is willing to lose. No one is willing to take that criticism and say, I'm going to do better. B. And I think a lot of that, you know what I think the moment when award shows died? I'm going to be real.
If we have the same moment, I'm going to scream, but go ahead.
It's got to be the Kanye moment.
Oh, nah,
it's got to be the Kanye moment.
I agree. I think that's when people definitely, modern wise, post 2000, definitely started criticizing award show. Mine was Esperanza Spalding winning Best New Artist.
But yeah, but it's like the Kanye moment was as fire as people think that it was. Was this 10 years ago that this happened? To almost 15 years ago this happened?
You talking about Taylor Swift?
Yes. The fact that he was trying to kind of like express issue with the way that award shows voted at that point. But I think that a big part of that conversation is that like this is nothing to take away from Beyonce. Taylor Swift was actually a really big moment for her. Like, that was a breakout. I'm not even a fan of hers, but she was actually getting numbers.
No, she was. That was definitely her villain origin moment at this point.
Exactly. But it was like it wasn't like,
what would life be if Kanye never did that?
I think award shows would still be, I think that they would be looked at a lot. Like, here's the thing. People have been complaining about Beyonce not winning awards for years. And they're going to continue to complain about her not winning awards for years. I think the Kanye moment definitely made it so that it was so popular to do it every single year, to a point where if she does win Album of the Year, no one will have anything to say anymore. Like it'll be the end of a long storyline. But I think what that did,
people are gonna say Cowboy Carter out of all Beyonce albums.
Exactly, it'll never end, right? So like, I think what that was Kanye saying, actually, no, this isn't the greatest thing of all time, and she shouldn't lose. So I think a lot of artists looked at it like, well, fuck that, I shouldn't lose either. I shouldn't lose with this either. Well, fuck it, I'm the greatest of all time. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it gave us a little bit of that like unearned confidence that he has at times. You know what I'm saying? And when I look at stuff like the BET Awards, which I watched zero of live, I watched just clips of it yesterday.
It was between that and Forbidden Door, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna roll the dice on BET.
I chose nothing. I literally chose nothing. We're gonna talk about Forbidden Door later, but I chose nothing there. I watched about an hour of Forbidden Door, and I fucked off and watched the challenge and the bear for the rest of Sunday. So
I was watching the bear too. I got one more episode left.
Oh man, good luck, buddy.
Listen, it's already got me in my bag. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Yeah, actually, let's talk about it. I know that we both like season 2, correct? And
yeah, minus Claire, but yes.
Well, I'm not gonna get into this with you, but I really want to know what you think of this season right now.
So I feel like I have an interesting relationship with the bear. I watched the first season of the bear when I left the job that I hated, and it felt like it was speaking to me because I hated it for all the reasons why I watched the bear. Like, very in terms of this workplace, but you also want to be like true to your craft, but you also have to deal with a lot of noise that come with it. And then like the following season was just kind of like going through this transition point in my own personal life. This season is just like, it's got me in my bag because I feel like Carmi, in terms of like, I feel like I'm lost somewhere, right? And a lot of things are continuing to like run as we're doing this, but I feel very, very lost in all of this. And I love this season, man. Like, there's something about the bear that makes me want to get on my grind. I don't know why. Like,
what about this season makes you want to get on your grind? There's
no
grind about this season.
You know what I'm saying? But here's my thing. It's like, I admire, the reason why I do is I admire like the still beyond everything that goes on, the attention to the craft, right? The cooking, the making the meals, making sure that this business is like running, all this other stuff. Like, don't get me wrong. Last night I have one more episode left. So last night I watched the baby birth episode, which was kind of like,
it should have been Ice Chips, which is probably my least favorite episode of the season.
Yeah. I watched, and then what was the second one? Oh my god,
Napkins with Tina.
Yeah. And those are pretty good. I'm like, we're building up to this finale. I gotta talk about this in private. The parts that hit me are definitely more of a private discussion, but I like it, man. The bear is like, it's good, man. It really is.
The show is still good. This season is very much a half measure because of a lot of things that they're working through. Mm-hmm. I think I'm more high on the first half of this season than the second half. I think that a lot of what happened in this season, like, everyone is back to like square zero by episode 3. I think that if they pulled some of the stuff they pulled in the season, if this show was a weekly show that aired on FX, they would get reamed for it. They would absolutely get murdered for some of the decisions that they have on the show. Like, that first episode would not work. The first episode in the season finale,
the first episode is pretty.
It would not work on a weekly cadence. That, like, they better be glad that this show is largely
binge through a weekend.
Yeah, you can binge that shit through a weekend. They're very lucky that is the case. But I think that there might be too much. I think this season is good, but it might be too much, and I think they gotta really kind of lock into what made the show good. I think that there's too much with the Fact brothers, way too much with them. I'm not gonna lie.
Random John Cena showing up while I'm watching The Bear is fucking insane.
Yeah, like
I didn't expect it at all. I don't go into stuff watching stuff or knowing stuff beforehand.
No, it wasn't revealed. Nobody even knew. The way they break these seasons down is like it's very secretive. So like nobody knows who's gonna show up. People didn't know Jamie Lee Curtis was gonna show up last season until she did.
Right.
So it's like that. But even then, like the fact joke has gone on for too long.
Yeah,
I'm good on the facts. You know what I'm saying? That they use them way too often on the show. I think that there's a lot of things that are too much, but very few things that are like given enough time. Like I feel like Marcus is not given enough time this season. I feel like
not at all. No,
he was a big proponent or a big part of the last season. I think that there was a lot of opportunities they could have had to. There's a couple decisions that have to be made. There's some things that are gonna happen. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but it's like the season ends so unsatisfactory to what you would want it to that I'm willing to give it like the series is for me first mixed review here is like it's good, but I feel like this was a season that they needed to just wait. If they could just do like 3 and 4, and they filmed 3 and 4 back to back, they should just wait so that they can say 3 will be June 27th or whatever. 4 will be in August. You know what I'm saying? We have no clue when 4 is going to come out, and it's just going to leave you feeling unfulfilled. I think it's weird you can talk about the grind. There's very little grind this season. No one is grinding.
There is. You know why? It's what was your favorite episode thus far of this season?
Napkins is probably the best episode of the season to me.
But
it's also a lot of this season is just people talking in a room, and I think that there was a kinetic energy to the previous seasons.
Oh my god, was there a kinetic energy?
Where you like
that episode with the fork?
Yeah, like where you felt like, oh my god, like what is gonna happen next, or what will they pop out with next, right? And I just really this season's missing that kinetic energy. It just does not feel that kinetic energy just does it's not shown through for me here. It's very slow, and it's very like conversational. It's very personal. It's very candid in a lot of ways. But there's also like so many loose hanging threads that it's like they're blowing in the fucking wind by the season finale. It's just like we're just gonna leave these out. Like I just feel like nothing gets solved, and I think that that's the most frustrating part of the season.
I could see that.
You'll see when you end it, you'll be like, huh? You'll be like, what the fuck?
It'll be like how I ended Who Killed WCW.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I was like, all right, niggas, wrap it up. I feel like we could do a better doc than that. Keep it apart.
I don't want to talk about WCW no more.
No. Yeah, we don't have to. Don't get me wrong. But I just feel like we can. What's a new story that you would want people to cover? I know they could. Shout out to Awful Announcing. I believe they had a great article and like, yeah, we're done talking WCW. Well, hell, we're done talking ECW. What do you feel like is the next major story in wrestling that should be covered?
Oh, God, it's gonna be Vince, right? They're gonna do all that. Like the Vince documentary is gonna come out. It's gonna be a lot of stuff about that. That'll be it. I think that WCW goes down as like a story of like how it all failed. Like no company is gonna fail that spectacularly and go out. I knock on wood, go out of business like that ever. But I mean, honestly, I would love to see beginnings of TNA. What happened then, what happened there, like from the people who were there. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's high time that we get the TNA story.
I could see that.
TNA story to me is more interesting. I mean, with WWE, they did the Ruthless Aggression show ever end?
I think it did, but not even sure. You know what? I don't think it did. I think it had a second part of it, but by then everything had moved to Peacock. So I think at this point, the first part came out when they were on the network. Second part came out when it was on Peacock. But by then, WWE is essentially pulling back from producing original programming on a semi-frequent basis because they don't have to anymore. They're on Peacock. Like, if you want to watch it, watch the other shit on Peacock. So yeah, that was also a weird story. But I don't think Ruthless Aggression is like to me as a story. It's not enough of a story thing, other than like
never ended.
Yeah, other than like we needed new stars, and this is why.
Season 2 had 5 episodes, and the last episode was 2020. This, you know why? It was COVID. It aired during COVID, and I don't think this ever ended.
It's done now.
Does the second season have 5 episodes? Season 1 had 5. Was it? What did it end?
I have no fucking idea, bro.
We had to wait a year before we got the second season. I don't even think that did we watch. Yeah, I think we did watch the whole thing. I think we talked about
it. We definitely did, but it was more so of a thing of WWE's them essentially moving on from making original programming. So yeah, it is. I don't know the stories. I mean, I think Dark Side of the Ring does whether we have, you know, our critiques on it in terms of like the talking heads that appear on it and what they kind of say and how much it's beneficial for them. I do think they create somewhat of a digestible and also like level of something where anyone can kind of watch these stories. But I don't know. Part of me is like, I think the COVID era is something to talk about. I think Brock is something to talk about.
Yeah.
Him being as enigma as itself. I think there's not really a documentary on Owen Hart for reasons, obviously. Probably his widow.
You gotta get all that footage.
Yeah. Well, nigga, they wouldn't be the one. WWE be the one producing it. Y'all can have whatever tournament you like, nigga. Y'all can celebrate him through tournaments. We have the footage, but I mean, Chris Benoit is one thing as well.
We got the footage.
Yeah. And just, you know, I think there are other stories to tell in the wrestling business, especially from WWE's end. But WWE like to craft their own narrative. Like tomorrow, right? We're getting the big doc finally. Yeah. I wish we got it today so we could, or yesterday so we could talk about it today. But I guess we'll talk about it next week.
It's a good weekend watch.
Right. Are you excited? Are you?
I am cited. I am cited about it.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to figure out the biggest captain who killed WCW last week came in the fourth quarter with like 2 seconds left. But he held a major 3 from down the court, and it came from The Rock.
What you mean?
The Rock said, "Oh, when WWE bought WCW, I took out this paper and I started writing down the names of people that I would like to face in WCW.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I had Randy Savage and Goldberg, Scott Hall, all these." I was like, shut the fuck up, bro. I couldn't believe it. So I expect more cap here. I feel like the reason why it was delayed because the cap had to be inserted somewhere or it had to be restructured.
He told Gerwertz, I need better cap, brother.
Bruh, like enough. They telling this story? Cody telling what story? Nah.
Do you feel like there's real animosity between Cody and Rock because of how like right? Like
yeah. Like I think he has major respect for The Rock, but I also think Cody is a Carney at heart and also a Rhodes at heart, right? Mm-hmm. So Rhodes have been specifically shitted on by WWE, and it feels like he's now just getting the get back, right? Yeah. But that was a situation where I guess he saw it happening. He saw what was what happened to his dad starting to happen to him, because the story of his dad and the WWE Championship and winning it one night and getting taken away from him was exactly what was happening at the Royal Rumble. I was on my way to win the WWE Championship, and then The Rock pulled up and he tried to take my shit. And I remember specifically now the comments at the press conference after the Royal Rumble become a lot more clearer and louder to me now, because it felt like he was definitely taking aim at The Rock. Because from what we've heard, the situation was that even though Cody won the Royal Rumble, he was not supposed to get to the main event of WrestleMania. There was supposed to be some shenanigans that happened. Maybe they'll uncover in a doc. If not, we'll see what happens.
Right.
But you can tell that it bothered him, and it bothered him all the way to The Rock really showing up. It's like it bothered him, and he might have gotten over it the day after, but then it resurfaced again when The Rock showed up, and you had to do the little handshake business. And I can tell
to this day our angriest podcast, I will say.
It's tough for me to go against one of my childhood idols, but right is right and wrong is wrong. And think of what?
It was dead ass wrong.
Yeah, like come on, bro, relax. Like you looking at the dollar signs, I was like, it was gonna make bread anyway, bro. Let me keep it a buck.
Like, it was sold out. And to all the people that was like blockbuster, I'm like, what's more blockbuster than what happened? But anyway, I do feel like there is some type of like they don't fuck with each other. They just kind of tolerate each other. I do feel that for sure.
But I'm sure The Rock is like, listen, Cody's my little bro.
Yeah.
Cody's a little bro. I got nothing but love for Cody and the Rhodes family. And then he'll say some lie about Dusty. But it is what it is. We should probably get into the news that happened this week. We got a lot to cover. I mean, it's a free show. It's a prediction show. It's a free show for you guys, everyone today. But make sure you guys, if you can, subscribe to the Patreon. You know what I'm saying? You get the patrons got the Obafemi interview early. You get this episode early. You get a lot of different stuff early. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Patreon. Again, every week you get a great show for $5, but you get the full. Sorry, you get a great show for free, but you get the full show for $5. So make sure you guys tune in that.
Don't besmirch Greg's.
No, it was me. Greg just loved it. Shout out to Greg.
That was Greg right there.
Hey.
He is a cop, you know.
What happened this week?
Big release. Big is it big? Is it a big release?
I'm gonna say it was a notable release.
Dijak, Christopher Dijak, Donovan Dijak, whatever you want to Dijak. What was his name when he first got there?
Dominic Dijak.
Dijakovic, wasn't it?
Dijakovic. Yeah. Dijakovic. It's
was
his name, yeah.
His contract?
No, it's not actually. It's actually not.
Oh wow.
I think it's actually Dijak.
His contract ran out this week, and he was not renewed, and he left a long scribe in Times New Roman, it looked like, or Arial, on a piece of paper, and he let everybody know that WWE he was negotiating up to the end, and they just decided not to let him go, or they decided to let him go.
He said there was no negotiations.
Oh well. What is it? What you think it means when there's no negotiation?
No, I mean it's very clear what it means. Yeah. I think don't get me wrong. I'm still like half on it, but ultimately Dijak is not like a major loss, and then also he's gonna do amazing stuff anyway. Like he's Dijak. It is what it is. However, it's clear to me the messed up part was calling him up. But then also I feel like they didn't know when they called him up that his contract was towards the end. Because I feel like you don't pull that move if someone's contract is expiring. But I could also be wrong, and they could just not give a fuck. The contract expiring to me was so close after the thing was kind of like, well.
But it also felt like let's like get him on the NXT. Like just because we don't gotta pay him NXT bread. Let's move somebody else up on NXT.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
You have to know like when your talent's contracts are coming up, right? Like I'm assuming you gotta know. He was called up. When was the draft? April? May?
Yeah. I think there was a lot of between the changing of regimes, that's why a lot of people like were up late. Like we were finding out about Damian and all these other people that were coming up at the last minute, and I think that's part of it. I think some of it is incompetence. I think that you should never let contracts get that fucking that lapsed or to a point where that is. But
they would do that. They would do that at my last job too, though. From time to time, I'd be like, "Hey, are we doing this?" And they would be like, we'll figure it out closer to the date. And then
Right.
I would have to re-sign like 2 days before my shit was expired because I was in the middle of something.
That's the
But he
life.
wasn't.
That's the life of them contractors. I think you know it is a mess. It's messy. It's shitty. But I think that in the end, Meelz, when they did find out and they said, "Oh shit, Dijak is he's coming up for renewal," and they didn't do nothing about it. What does that tell you?
I think they clearly assess it by like whose contract. They assess it then and there. And I was reading this, not reading. I was watching podcast 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Carmelo Anthony and Mero. And they had Andre Iguodala on the podcast, and he's a very like smart basketball player. And they were talking about contracts. They were talking about like when it comes to contract season for the NBA, then that's where like you never did this enough. You know what I'm saying? You never did that enough. It's less about like what you did for them and like more so like how much are you, here's the reason why we're not going to pay you as much as we're going to pay you. And I feel like once they figured out, it's like, okay, his contract is coming up. They did in my time, if I had to guess, a real time assessment on like, is he worth keeping? Has he been on television? Mm-hmm. Is he in the current program? Is there anything that we can do? What happened?
Does he move the needle?
Right. Is there anything that we can do with him? And in the interest of, I guess, saving money, there was like, no, let's just go. But I do think, personally, in my opinion, I think Dijak could have filled a role on the show. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of other people who could do that. But I think he does it at a very high level. I think what he did in NXT going up against Ilya and what he's done for Obafemi and what he's done for a lot of other people on this roster. What's my man's name? The Native American guy. A couple of the people, and having those kind of feuds, and ultimately he doesn't win the feuds. Like that's not the Dijak story for him to win the feuds, but he makes the opponent look really, really good kind of going out. And I thought that was at least something that could have been done on the main roster, at least with a new fresh face. But you know, it is what it is.
I think main roster, at least now, there's an influx of stars that could do that on a regular basis. But there's also there is a penchant now where like I will argue that on main roster television there aren't many people that are being made to look good through matches. They're being made to look good through promos. And like you look at how stacked those like promos and stories. Like you look at how stacked these, or in some ways how stacked some of these Money in the Bank qualifiers were. Where you have people who are like Sheamus who could say makes people look good, Ilya who could say make people look good, Drew who makes everybody look good, and they all face off against each other, and they all look great, even in defeat. They all look great on Raw. But what really gets people over is the stories that they're writing. I would argue that like that as a premium is not really worth as much as it was, because look at the people who they're letting go. It's all people who make people look good, and that was where me and you would be like, oh, this is a guy that puts people over, it makes people look good. Ricochet, Dijak, people are saying Natty might be the next one that's coming
up.
Cameron Grimes, all people that make people look good. But it's like you look at Austin Theory, you look at Gargano, all of that stuff going. They're getting over through story, and it's resonating through story more so than it is through matches. And I think that we've seen a real shift from I guess like the mechanics being kind of the people that kind of run the ship in terms of like who's making these matches and who's made them look good, and turning them into real storyline factors. Chad Gable to me is the biggest example of somebody who they see as not only making someone look good, but also somebody that can actually carry a story. I think the way he's done this year is magnificent. If we had to like vote right now, he's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world because of what he's able to do.
But also look at the kind of like, and I think his era and kind of coming up, he came up in the Vince era and then eventually transitioned to the Triple H era. But I feel like the one thing I would personally like, at least like to see, at least have the opportunity be there, right? You know what I'm saying? Like at least give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the Cameron Grimes, especially with the Dijaks and stuff like that. At least give it a shot on the main roster, see what it looks like. I know that they're crowded.
But I go back to what we said with Ricochet, and I say the same with Dijak. If the cop gimmick ain't working, if they can't, if they don't feel like they could, like, we can't get a storyline off with these. Like he said that he pitched stories, and I would just love to know what these stories were.
I mean, I think every talent pitches stories. If they want to be featured on television, or if they feel like they're not being featured, they're going to pitch something, no matter what company it is. And I feel like with Dijak, I mean, even if the cop thing, I think you could have tweaked it or something of the rather. But
what?
Bounty hunter. I don't know. Like,
bro, all of those have really bad connotations, yo.
But you know what I'm saying? Well, we just saw someone get mounted on television last night. I think I
gotta do it a bounty hunter.
We're past whatever was bad and was good on TV or something along those lines. But no, I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I feel like at least sometimes let's just see how it looks on the main roster. If it doesn't look this after a couple months, let's do it, because it doesn't make any sense. You spend all that time in the NXT.
So what makes you think they not seeing what it looks like? Because we don't see what they see.
Ultimately. We definitely don't see what they see. But to me, I think there's, with the context of like what actually like kind of goes on the main roster, like we don't know what a moment like a Jey Uso versus a Dijak could eventually like come to, you know what I'm saying? Or like a pay-per-view. I know what you're saying. I listen, don't get me wrong. He's gone. It is what it is. But like you never know. It's the same thing with Chad Gable, right? You never know. Like we knew Chad Gable was talented, but we didn't know. But we didn't know he was. I mean, completely all this.
But here's the thing, Meelz. They did know. They absolutely did know, and that's why he is where he is, and that's why he garnered the paycheck that he earned when he re-signed a couple of weeks ago. Because they did know. Because they're looking at. I think that they're looking at intangibles that we just don't see. And I think that is the key is that we just don't see what they're seeing. And I think that, you know, it's unfair to say, it's kind of crazy to say at times, but we really don't see what's going on a lot of the time. And I think a lot of people look at it as, oh, they can go in the ring. Oh, then they do this thing and they make this person look good. And it's like, okay, he'll get, like Dijak will get his Jey Uso match and he'll get 18 super kicks and he'll get speared over the table and he'll get a splash and lose. And it'll be like, well, great. Jay still looks great, and he just looks as great as he did yesterday. And I think that there's not many people on that roster that need to look good, because I'll give it to you. Other than like Caden Chance and Carter, and they're building the witches, Alba and what's her name, they're actually building them right now. I would say a lot of the people on that roster look good already. They don't really need matches to do that anymore.
I think there's it's just me. I don't know. I think there's a value to having, don't get me wrong, everyone can have a great match. I do think there's a value for still those people of like who make people look good. And they have those on the roster currently, and they're Sheamus, but like Sheamus also is a former WWE champion. How long is that kind of thing? Bobby Lashley is a former WWE champion. How long is that going to last? Then you have these new kids that come up who are also like future WWE champions. And how's that going to shake? I think there's value in someone who has a role, does it very well, even if it's just in the ring, is serviceable on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Dijak is serviceable, bro.
Dijak has never been bad on the mic.
He ain't serviceable either.
He's serviceable. What do you mean? He's not bad. He gets from point A to point B. He's never. You've never looked at a Dijak promo and was like, that was, what is it? You've never looked at a Dijak promo and said that was terrible.
No, I never looked at it and said I cared or even remembered any of them.
Right, but here's my thing.
I'm not trying to know for Dijak, so you got it.
No. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, it is what it is. But my thing is like, there are people who I think can be serviceable, whose value is more so in the ring, that can be valuable. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's. I think that.
I mean, it is. I know. That's not how they look at it. But that's everybody. I mean, I have a different perspective than how they look at it. But it's their company, right?
Everybody on this roster can go. Every single person on this roster can go. Can go and go both ways. Every single person on this roster can go and they can go. Their core, and I've said this before, their core is them 5-6 people at the top. Your Biancas, your Codys, your Romans, your Beckys, all those people, Seth, Drew, Punk. Those are people that are non-negotiables To use a term from Carmi, those are the non-negotiables. They are always going to be good. The people below, there's like 58 people in their feeder system right now where they're like, okay, we could make another one of these guys. The people will look at some of these people and be like, okay, well we'll get them there regardless. Obafemi could be right where Dijak is, but has a better character, and as you said, he's a little bit more clever. He's quick to learn. All of this stuff, they can do that,
right? So, but my thing is that you have like, I'm equating Dijak and like these other people to like role players on the show.
And if he goes to AEW and he does absolutely nothing, this conversation we're having will be for none. It'll be for nothing.
I mean, but I personally don't care. I'm just having the conversation. This is less of a defending and more of like, I think these role players have value on a roster somewhere. And I think it's important to have role players on the roster because, as you say, everyone can go, but not everyone is going to go straight to the top. And sometimes you need these role players to put these people over. And I think that's what Dijak is. I don't think he's someone who's striving to be world champion. I don't expect world champion. I don't even expect Intercontinental champion. I expect a great role player on this show, similar to an Ivar, similar to
Apollo. You bring your ass down to the ring, nigga.
I think he offers more than Apollo.
Who knows? I mean, again,
I think he's like, when you think, like I said,
odds, and they said I ain't looking too good.
Nah, I feel you, but I look at people. My thing is like, again, like I said, I look at the Ivars and I look at the other people who show up, and they're like clearly Bronson Reed, you know, like people who are just like strong role players in their element, and they help people get over. I think he was great at that. Could he have been there on the main roster? Yeah. Is he not? He's just not. It is what it is. You know, could have joined the group. I don't know. Whatever.
Dijak already got like 14 bookings already. He'll probably be in the AEW by fucking.
I think it's. I don't know. It's up to him, but I think him being chronically online is a problem. But
you didn't even get to that part. But and the rumors about what he's been doing.
Right. But I think honestly, the whole Fightful thing where he said he was like, I've been informant for Fightful, I didn't necessarily bite on that because it came during Mansoor and Mace's two biggest trolls in the fucking industry.
He paying you?
Sure. Dijak?
Yeah, he paying you?
No, I didn't buy it because I watched part of that stream and I was like, there's nothing. He didn't say anything incriminating on the stream. He didn't say anything about thing for Fightful. Now, the DMs that were revealed, that's more incriminating than anything, where he's talking to whoever he's talking to, which I assume is who he's talking to. But
if he was giving away scoops and shit, they probably know about that shit.
They probably do.
They probably know about that shit, and it's a rapola if that's the case.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. It's 100% a rap. I don't know if they knew, but you know, to be honest with you, Scoops was coming before Dijak and it'll come after Dijak. So it is what it is.
Scoops was a little too.
Again, they will come.
The fact that we knew it was him that was supposed to get the title match was kind of like a head scratcher until, you know, until he actually revealed that it was supposed to be him on that little letter, whatever little letter thing he had. But again, swim good, have fun at AEW, and we know that's where you're going, nigga. Let's see, Forbidden Door.
Oh yeah.
Forbidden Door, greatest wrestling show of all time. Let's just get that out the way.
I didn't watch it because nothing interests me.
Better than X7.
And I mean, I tweeted it, but I guess I don't know. A lot of people agreed. A lot of people didn't agree. Shout out to you if you didn't. Shout out to you if you did.
I think that it's funny, right? I think that it's funny that when you made that tweet where it's like nothing interests me, he's like, well, the tag matches. I'm just like, that's not gonna sway you.
Nah, I mean, not really, to be honest with you. And I only said sorry if it offends because I felt like it was offensive to people. I don't know how it is, but I always feel like it's offensive to people. I'm nothing on the card. I didn't look at anything on the card. I was like, let me tune into that. Like, I'm not a big fan of Swerve, even though he's talented. I'm not a big fan. Plus, I knew that match would be like 12 o'clock. I was like, all right, fuck this. I'm not a Mercedes versus Stephanie match. I heard it was good. But again, like, I knew it was going to happen. All I saw was the picture of her holding up 2 belts, and I was just like, this is probably everything that she dreamt of. She was like, this is going exactly how I wanted to how I wanted it to go. This is going exactly how I wanted it to go. And then Britt Baker comes out dressed like a Backstreet Boy and fucking
what are your thoughts on how that's gonna work? I think it's gonna work. I don't foresee a Punk Hangman type of thing happening here, but like I definitely don't see good things coming out of this program between someone who says entirely too much and someone who actually can't really cut a promo to save her life.
She is going to, I think, if people weren't booing Mercedes before and weren't critical of Mercedes before, I think they're going to be a lot more critical now. Mm-hmm. Because I think Britt Baker is going to eat her alive on the microphone. I'm going to keep it a buck. I think it's very easy for be quick-witted and have very, like, you know, the AEW quips. You ran away from your job and blah, 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 and you hope you're going to be popping here and in Japan, but you ain't no popping in me, bitch.
They found a real black woman. I'm just playing.
But I think all those things, I don't think Mercedes is necessarily built to respond to in real time or anytime because she kind of she lives true to the gimmick of whatever Mercedes is. But it'll be
poor Toni Storm. Poor Toni Storm. Nobody
got her Looney Tune adventures and shit.
Nobody wants that fucking title at all, my brother. Not a single soul wants that title at all. She can have it in the was she in the girls kissing girls verse?
Yeah. I think it'll eventually. I'm assuming it's gonna be. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen at Wembley. It's gonna end up being Saraya. It's gonna be Saraya. But which is wild to me. They'd never done the Mercedes Saraya kind of thing after she broke her neck. But
keep that hole away from me and my neck.
But I think I don't know. It's that's gonna be interesting to see.
There was a worst match of the year contender there as well.
What happened?
Naito and Mox stunk it the fuck up, brother.
Damn, that match went 17 minutes. I can't imagine sitting through Stink for 17 minutes.
Oh, they stunk it the fuck up. I could not believe what I was seeing in these clips, bruh. What in the hell? Listen, Naito don't got it no more. There's no way he should be holding a major
title. It more Naito or was it more Moxley?
I think it was Moxley's bad match tendencies mixed with Naito not having no knees, no fucking nothing. He was cooked. He don't got nothing. He don't got it no more, bro. It's over. It's over, and they gotta recognize that.
Shout out to my people's Black Announce Table. I told them because they went to the show. I told them, hey, get a counter and count how many black people you see in the audience. Because there's this big debate over did millions of black people tune out on that one Dynamite for Kendrick. And I was like, there's no way their audience represents that many black people. So check out their show this week. They'll have the official count of how many black people were at that actual show. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing. Forbidden Door, the allure of it, they don't know how to market this shit, bro. This should be bugging me. Like this and the challenge be bugging me. Like when I see the challenge put out social media posts, I was like, "What are you niggas doing? What?
What?
Did you see the one? They had one recently where everyone wore a hat that said like 40 is the new something.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "What?
You never look so good or some shit." I
was like, "What are you doing? What's this cheap bullshit? This is the 40th season."
Come on, man. What do you mean?
I was just like, come on. I was like, just give me the sticks. I'll fix this. This is how I feel with this show. I don't know. The next big thing is Wembley.
Yes, they got a whole month to build programs, so that's actually good for them because they usually don't have that long. But
no.
They have some time to build some programs, and there's a pretty big show in Chicago this week. It's one of their themed shows. They're hoping to bounce back from. Here's the thing that's funny about we talked about the bad rating last week, and it bounced back to like a 600, 620 something,
680.
680, and they were like, they back, baby, and I was just like, that.
Wasn't that the second lowest rating that you've ever got? But because Tony Khan went on to observe her and was just like, we're back. I mean, we're by all metrics, right? And mind you, Meltzer and Alvarez are stumbling and bumbling to agree with him.
Alvarez knowing better, but
along with but trying to be a good host. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. Even though he's like, I didn't listen to the whole interview because I'm pretty sure they have this kind of conversation at least once a week at this point, privately.
Yeah.
But no, it's a AEW. People can't turn off their brains after pay-per-views and ignore everything that happened for the 7 weeks building up to it. These half-open buildings and shit like that. I was talking to also Rob and Nell because they were like, we were talking about their attendance and like how long can they be doing these like half thing shows. I think at this point it's purely for, I think they could do smaller things, but I think the image of them in a smaller arena doesn't make them look comparable to WWE, and that's why they're not going to push to do it.
Well, they stay. I mean, I don't know what looks worse then.
They're hoping people don't see it.
All right.
The creative camera angles, they're hoping people don't see that legitimately. Like, you see a row of people, you see a couple more rows of people, and then you see the abyss.
Bro, I was weak at Forbidden Door because they was filming. I was like, oh, y'all filming the whole arena today, huh?
Bro. They might use some of them clips on Dynamite this week, bro.
It was light. I was like, oh, they turned the lights on today, huh? Hey, that's great.
Like, oh shit, look, catch up there. You know what I'm saying? They might do a Jey Uso entrance. They can never do that. I don't know if they still do the Moxley entrances.
Moxley coming out of the bathroom. Hey, John Moxley's now in your city.
Down. One hand on the plunger, whatever, man.
I'm out the bathroom. You know his butt crack showing like
the Forbidden Door, greatest show on earth.
Is what I'm seeing. Well, actually, no, I actually didn't see that. I saw people say that it could have been good, but they blamed the crowd, and I was like, well, the crowd had to sit through 15 matches and. Like me and you didn't even get
niggas they don't know.
We didn't get to the Bryan Danielson match, which I thought was actually pretty good. If like I think it was a good match, but I wish Bryan would get away from the I'm having a stinger. Every match he's having a stinger, bro. I'm like, all right,
I'm having an episode. I'm
like, this is such a tired ass trope. I'm like, you've been doing this for like a year, bro. Like,
no, he's been doing this for longer, bro. He's been doing this for way longer
since before he came. Since he came over to WWE.
Yeah, WWE just like cut that shit out, bro.
Yeah, like you're not about to have a goddamn stinger, bro.
Yeah, you're not about to appear to be dying on my show. Fuck that.
I thought it was a good match. I think that was
the MJF match was below 10 minutes. This nigga did not care about this fucking.
Oh, he was on the jet by 8:55, bro. He was out. He didn't give a fuck about this show.
He was back at his parents' crib. Fuck that.
I think that it's funny that people are now treating MJF like 2002 Triple H, which is actually making me like him more and wonder what other creative control things he's gonna do on the show.
Speaking of creative control. Niggas got creative. How do you feel about Mercedes Moné announcing she has creative control?
Doesn't shock me at all. All white women have creative control.
I feel like you shouldn't announce you have creative control. I think that's tacky.
I feel as though you can announce anything that you do in front of Tony Khan and nothing will happen.
Yeah, to be honest with you.
I think you could do anything that you wanted in front of him and nothing will happen. So... I think
it's tacky. I think it's not
You can openly disrespect one of the co-founders of the company that you are currently working in front of Tony Khan, and nothing will happen. Cody was hot about that Tony Storm shit. He was very upset about that.
He was like, nigga, fuck you, me. Won a world title. I'll celebrate who I want to celebrate.
Yeah, like,
y'all up here chopping with the boss every month, and I can't bring the boss out for when I win the title.
Cody could have got real mean with it too.
Listen,
Cody could have went crazy on her.
Couldn't cut the mustard. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people can't cut the mustard.
Bro, he could have said, man, there was more people in the bathroom than was in your goddamn show. Shit. The fuck is you talking about? Fuck out of here, man. Let's talk through Smackdown. It was a big Smackdown this week.
Yeah, the MSG.
A fucking huge Smackdown. I'm actually undercutting or underselling what it was. Biggest segment on the show, on this show, biggest segment that they've done since Mania. I believe it was 60 million, they said, through all social channels. The Bloodline is still hot. The Bloodline is still extremely hot.
I feel like the specter of Roman Reigns continues to make it hot. It's like, when's Roman gonna come back? But it's like Bloodline. I like all of this. I love what I saw. I wish I was there live, for multiple reasons. But that segment was tremendous. Like, Paul Heyman's eventually build up to like, but you are not my tribal chief, and people went crazy.
Before that, him doing the Roman mic handoff, him doing the acknowledge me, and Paul reacting to all of those things and being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" like Heyman, like, clearly objecting to all of this was one of the highlights of this segment. I think that, again, Solo cosplaying as Roman Reigns is one of the. Have we ever seen a storyline like this or a character like this where he is just actively trying to be like
Damien Sandow?
Like, it wasn't like that. He was being
no, of course. He
was like body double. That was the thing. It was the body double. But I mean, I'm saying, like, someone who like Solo, who like is clearly not a leader, trying to be a leader, and just clearly like sucking at it.
My thing is, what happens when Roman shows up? Does Roman immediately bounce him like a fucking rubber ball? Like,
I think should we wait till next month to talk about this, or do we do it now? Because I honestly think it's on site for that nigga. I think that they're going to beat him up,
but they're going to beat up Roman.
Yeah, I think they're going to beat the shit out of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, at this point they got the only way this extends to the only way they keep it salvageable for Solo Sikoa at anything is that Roman has to get beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he comes back and bounces that motherfucker like a rubber ball, if he comes back and does the Looney Tune offense that MJF be doing, we be poking niggas in the balls and grabbing people by the nose and throwing them over the top rope.
Is it poking in the balls? You mean the
eye? No, I meant what I said.
Okay.
Because he has MJF, but he does a run in and there's multiple people in the ring. He gets real cartoony with his offense.
Oh yeah, remember that time he beat up 8 niggas?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like doing Three Stooges shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, all right, whatever. But the Roman has to take an ass whooping for sure. But this, I mean, again, we're setting this. The WWE knows how to set the stages. They know these big shows, mind you. They've last week Chicago, this week MSG, next week Toronto. Like, they're on a run. All right.
Did you see that tweet about Jacob Fatu's his aura?
No,
that weird weird Reigns era AI account.
Niggas don't know what an aura is.
It was the new Bloodline.
Oh yeah, you said because he has a blue hat.
They're all wearing black, and they're all just wearing. If you could have told me they're wearing the same outfit, they're not. But you could have told me they're wearing the same outfit, and I would have said yes, they are. I would look at the page and say, yeah, they're definitely wearing the same outfit. They're just all wearing all black, right? And then it's Jacob Fatu, yes, in a blue hat, and it said Jacob Fatu's aura is off the chain or some shit like that. You know how they use Mad Libs,
not off the chain.
They use Mad Libs to make their tweets or whatever. But the glazing is crazy, isn't it? Like, the glazing is insane for this guy.
It's nuts. Like y'all never. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I'm sure they've never watched many Jacob Fatu matches. I'm not acting like I've seen them.
I've looked at clips.
That nigga look old in the face.
Yeah, he definitely looks 45.
Yeah, I was like, bro, how old are you?
Very cool that he's doing split-legged moonsaults. That's very cool. I'm gonna tell you now.
He need to cut the dread thing out though. Like,
yeah, the dread thing's weird because
yeah,
it's like hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, they don't look healthy. You know what I'm saying?
But and again, his aura can be what his aura is. I think that's cool, man. But I think ultimately what it comes down to is right. Stop it. Like, let him actually accomplish something, right?
Yeah.
Like, let him accomplish something before y'all glaze the guy to no end. I think that it would be in the interest of him being successful. It's probably best that you don't try and get him to be more over than the guy that is supposed to be getting the push right now. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right. Like, I don't know. This is the one that people have been waiting to cheer for, essentially. Because to be honest with you, they ain't much with the other fucking two. Maybe Tonga.
I like Tama. Tama is actually, I'm gonna be real. After as someone who has watched his New Japan work, he's actually like he's working. I think it's as far as a character because he actually has one now.
Yeah,
and he's working as far as like in ring. I think he's worked the hardest of all of them, including Solo, in the past 4 months.
He's doing a great job. Yeah, I would say he's doing a great job. Solo in the ring for me still doesn't do it. We're gonna have to figure that out at some point. But yeah, no, I mean, just great segment. Even the way to kick off the show was very like, let's kick it off MSG style. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole fight to kick off the show. People are cheering. Niggas breaking people's legs and shit. How you get kicked out the show? You the champ. It's MSG. What are you doing, bro?
The chaos. I just really love the chaos that's happening. I think that a lot of this is working because it's leading you to like, when is he going to come back? And now you have pretty much the whole bloodline has been cleared, minus Sans Jey, who's stepped aside there. And again, you're keeping Cody in the orbit because one of my biggest concerns, Meelz, is that you don't want to make Roman seem like the 1A when Cody is clearly the 1A right now. Like, they got to be on the same level. They have to be on the same level. So it's going to be interesting to see that juggling act and how they kind of make that work, right? Where it's just like, okay, Roman's back, but clearly we want to do this or we want to do this with the character. I want to see how they make all of them seem or feel important. You know, I'm hoping that they're able to do that. You know.
No, I agree.
I mean, I think that was the biggest thing on Smackdown, but
yeah. My goat showed up.
Who's your goat?
Jalen Brunson.
Oh yeah, that guy. He has the personality of a fucking fruit fly. That guy.
What are you talking about? He had great instincts. You know what I'm saying?
To do what? Almost fucking drop the chair.
He has an injured hand. He's legit coming back from that's why they got knocked out the playoffs in the game 7. Well, that's not why he got knocked out of the playoffs. They were getting fucking bombed on way before that. But during the last game, he essentially broke his hand. So this is him coming back from it. And I guess this is the first time like really gripping something. So he slid the chair in the ring before he thingy, and then LA Knight was like, "Whoa, nigga, pick up the chair. What are you doing?"
Yeah, come on, man. I hope you don't handle basketball like that.
No, but it's like LA, like, let me cook. I'm picking up the chair. Like, relax.
No, listen, LA, like, you're not about to. I'm just now getting back good.
How did you feel that segment went? Friend of the show, Tyrese Halliburton.
It was good. I don't think that there's any. I don't think there's any question that like they make these types of moments feel really special. Both of them having their own shirts is unheard of.
That's nuts.
That's like Dennis Rodman having a suite of like merch in WCW. You know what I'm saying? Like just freaking unheard of.
But this is what you do, bro. Did you see how the AEW merch stand at Forbidden Door? The merch kiosk.
nasty, bro. Like
I'm like, y'all don't print shirts. Y'all don't like making money.
$50 shirts is nasty. Y'all need
and
to
only 6 of them. I was like, bro,
I need to be stopped. All right, I need to be stopped immediately.
Niggas, they just used to people not showing up for the show. I guess niggas, they print out 6 shirts and said, all right, we got them for sale. Grab them while you can. But no, it was fucking insane. Shout out to everyone who went to that show. The show looked fantastic. Great qualifying matches. Jay Tiffany and who? Jay Tiffany, Candace.
Candace, yeah.
Jay Tiffany and Candace worked pretty well. Naomi, Blair, and Indy. That was cool. I mean, yeah, it was. And
I didn't like the people who always say like this person didn't get a rousing reaction in MSG. I'm like, okay, like what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, no, it's some people don't even show up in MSG, nigga.
That's
you still wonder where Andrade at, nigga. Andrade on speed, firmly on speed.
Money in the Bank.
I know, but he's not on like the shows leading up to it. At least look at a ladder or something, my nigga. Like, at least come out with a ladder. At least come out with a something. They get at least
his sugar mama got him right, bro. Don't worry about my nigga, bro.
Well, this is true.
This got him right.
True. Speaking of sugar mamas on Raw, all types of sugar was being dealt out by Liv Morgan. This program is. I'm ready for the Rhea ship to land. Give it a
people are even if you don't love it,
people love it. No. Don't get me wrong, people love it.
People are loving this. They're loving this whole Dom Liv thing. It's working. She's even going on MLB shows to promote this shit. It's actually it's adding more fuel to the fire. And this is what I say. This is what I was saying earlier. Like they're providing more to these programs than just ultimately just trying to basically have matches to kind of get these stories across, right? They're giving you a lot more, and I think that's why this type of stuff is working, and ultimately why it will continue to kind of be in their favor to keep doing stuff like this, because they're having really good stories to bolster what their stars are doing, and Rey Mysterio still cannot let Dom go over. I don't know why. He just won't do it.
Did you see what Dom wrote on Twitter?
No.
Hold on, let me pull it up because I laughed out loud after my run. He said, he responded to O'Shea Jackson Jr. He said, "My pop's a bitch, can't beat me clean." I was like, hey, shout out to that.
Come on,
man. Riot 6 update.
Y6, they continue to. I'm keeping
out VHSs, nigga.
I'm keeping the promise. That I made to the show. They interrupted Chad Gable at the top of the show. They left another VHS tape. The VHS tape seems to confirm that Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy, and that was where it ends. So moving on.
This is gonna be a way. What are they gonna do next week?
We said we would not continue. We would not go further.
What they're going to do next week? What a VHS, a DVD, cassette are they handing next week? Ain't nothing spookier than old timey fucking shit. What else happened on the show? People are upset at Zoe because
I was gonna get into this during the Money in the Bank stuff, but get the fuck over it. Like, who gives a shit? Dakota Kai don't ever win. When it's time for her to win, she'll win.
Yeah.
This shit ain't real. I feel like I have to say this every single week. This shit is not real.
This shit means something to people.
You know what happened when she walked back to the back? They handed her her pay slip and said, "I'll see you on Saturday." They don't give a fuck.
We've got your travel ready, Miss Kai, Miss Coda.
Would you like business class or would you like commercial? She said, "It's not that long of a flight. I think I'll do commercial." I'm straight. Picking on leaving death threats for Zoe Stark, get the fuck over it. Who cares?
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Zoe Stark's not winning.
You were still at your mama's house.
Well, Zoe Stark might win. I don't know. Well,
who knows? Regardless, Zoe Stark is talented, bro. It don't matter if she don't fulfill your yes queen diva aspirations or whatever the fuck you wanted from her, but she's still a talent on the show, and she's there 2 years in a row, and that's pretty cool. I think she's a really good performer. His character's not all there. I don't think she's the greatest promo, whatever, but she always performs in these types of matches, and that's why she's there.
Some could say the female Dijak.
You know what though, Meelz? I mean, you say that, but women mean a lot more than white men in this company right now.
This is true.
Oh, let's just keep it 100. Women mean a lot more than white men in this company. And that to me is fire. So take your ass somewhere, Dijak, and yes, let the female Dijak take over, because if that's the case, cool. Fucking let them all go. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. There's a premium on the women right now. There's not a premium on the white men. Look at NXT. They gotta have a storyline for the what's the goofball name? What's the nigga name? Who keep breaking it? What's his name? Jensen. Loser. Where's Josh Briggs? Loser. He could go too.
They really both.
Bro, you better slap a Wyatt mask on or say thank you or some shit like that, or you ain't getting on.
How a team got 2 Tuckers? You know what I'm saying? No Otis. Just 2 Tuckers, bro.
That is crazy.
Team got 2 Tuckers, bro. Oh, fuck. Oh, we're going to hell.
Bank, man. Let's go to Money in the Bank.
Wait, your 4K thing. They had a moment this week.
Come on now. 4K. Now that's a moment bigger than the Y6. You feed me. Hey.
After losing as advertised.
Did he lose? Who was standing at the end? Who was looking like a bitch at the end? Who was looking like a bitch at the end screaming? Who was looking like a bitch?
That didn't even look like it hurt.
Who was looking like a bitch at the end? Who was who was doing all of that?
He looked like he was getting tickled or some shit like that.
My arm. Who was looking like that?
Oh my god.
Who was left laying? He said, Wood, you want to shake my hand, fuck nigga? You want to shake my hand, nigga? Yeah. Yeah, I won again.
Oh my god.
He got pinned. Didn't nobody even remember it. 2 seconds after, he got his heat back immediately. Carry across, baby. 4K. For the future. For everything. How could you deny this man, bro? This is a legend. It's a legend.
Oh, before that, also, shout out to Liv and Selena. They got a great reaction for their match. It was much more than I thought they were going to get for this show. Boston went up for them. So
crowd went fucking bonkers, dog. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's real. They loving
and people were arguing. It was like, why isn't this on the pay-per-view? I was like, this is the reason why it's on the fucking.
This is the reason why it's on the pay-per-view, because people reacted on TV and they're not gonna be able to go to Toronto to see that. Stupid. Stop letting fans fucking have Twitter accounts, bro. Like if you were Stan, you should not have a Twitter account. But that's what it is. Twitter's just Tumblr. That's all it is.
Broke people should never laugh.
Never. They should never fucking laugh or fucking any of that shit. Anyway, Money in the Bank emanating.
Wait, hold on. Breaking news from Fightful. Hold on, let me actually read this before I decide I want to say this.
It's probably stupid.
Fightful Select has learned that the AEW New Japan Forbidden Door main event came about because Will Ospreay wanted to eliminate the talking point of Swerve being a placeholder for him until All In. He wanted to lead by example that anyone should be good losing to the world champion as well. What a loser. What a bozo reason.
What is that? What?
He wanted to lose to him to prove that people should be fine with losing to him? Losing to Swerve? What? He's the world champion.
He's been beating everybody anyway.
This is dumb.
Is that like PR?
It's kind of this is very PR-y. Like he wanted to essentially Will Ospreay wanted to show he was a good sport and a locker room leader. He said he wanted to lead by example that anyone should be good with losing to the world champion as well.
I mean, he's basically just saying what I said a couple minutes ago. It's fake. Yes, it's fake. But also, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Why'd you tell Fightful that?
This is so dumb. This is why this main event happened?
I guess. I mean,
so niggas could lead by example?
Cool, man. Like that awesome, dude. You don't think anyone else does this?
Listen, I'm praying for him. Listen, Trevor, it's not too late, nigga.
It is too late.
It is too late. It's absolutely fucking too late.
It is too late. It is absolutely too late. It's way too late. It's too late to apologize.
It's too late to apologize. Let's get some Money in the Bank for real, though.
All right. Emanating from the Scotiabank Arena, they back Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Money in the Bank, a regular time pay-per-view for once. Jesus.
7 p.m. Look at the start. Well, 7 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. your time.
Mark was like, "Hey, what's happening for Money in the Bank?" I was like, shit, breakfast?" And he was just like, "No, it's at this time." I was like, "Oh, fuck, huh?" I was like, "Wait, what?"
I guess I'll have to plot my day earlier or something. I don't know.
Exactly. I was like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, this is Money in the Bank. 5 matches. The Triple H special. 5 matches, and you out of there.
5 matches, you out of there.
I'll give him the 5 matches this time. It seems like a bunch of these matches are gonna go at least 20.
5, you get a press conference and be out of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This might be a little bit on the longer end of their 3-hour schedule. Probably like I would say 3:45.
I don't think my thing is also though, sidebar, I don't think they've announced anything past Bash in Berlin.
No, they haven't. Well, we know that they're going back for Crown Jewel.
Yeah, they're going back for Crown Jewel.
Yeah,
but that's in November. Bash in Berlin is
we pretty much know that Bad Blood is.
Yeah, Bad Blood is coming, and then that might Survivor Series probably going to end up being the last pay-per-view. Actually, no, I don't know, because since they're moving WrestleMania, whatever. They haven't announced Survivor Series though. That's weird as fuck.
Yeah, Survivor Series is being announced very late. I don't think it's cause for concern, but I think it is kind of crazy that they're kind of waiting this long to announce these things.
I agree, but it is what it is.
Let's start with the Intercontinental title. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I'm gonna give my unpopular opinion here. I'm gonna be real. I really do not think that Sami should be losing this match.
I also don't think Sami should be losing.
I'm gonna be real. I really like Braun. I think it's too early. I think that there are very little people that he could actually face before he would need to drop that title, or it would just be kind of like an albatross on him, right? Like where it's just like, okay, like you're beating everybody. There's really nobody else. Like he also needs to like take a L.
Yeah.
Before, because I don't think
to humanize him a little bit, nigga. You can't have another unstoppable champion.
Yeah, like he doesn't need a win. I don't think he's the type of character that needs a win streak right now. I think that he's dominant enough where that type of thing works. But
and if you beat him, he beats you up after the match. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, again, they're gonna do what they got to do. But I think it might be time to kind of maybe give Sami a hometown win or whatever if they want to do that, if they want to go that route. But I'll say this right now. I think he may lose, but I don't think he should.
I don't think Sami will lose. So I'm gonna go Sami in this.
I think it's gonna be a banger though. I think it's I have this penciled in as potentially Braun Breaker's greatest match that he's ever had.
That's a big thing. He has some good matches, bro.
He has Sami Zayn.
This is true. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sami.
Yeah, I think Sami's the safe bet here. I think it would be cool for him to win there. We also have Damian Priest versus Seth freaking Rollins. Last chance match for the World Heavyweight Championship. If Priest wins, Rollins can never challenge for the title as long as Priest is champion. And if Rollins wins, Priest must leave the Judgment Day. This is a story that's kind of come up in literally the last 7 days with Rollins and Priest. Rollins on Raw, I'm going to be real, it was a kind of heelish little promo there, or at least like alluding to that being the case, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like he's definitely got a little bit more aggression under his belt. You know, it's very strange. Uh, and they got Priest moving as a face at this point. I'm interested. The interesting on part, it looks like Finn Balor is getting fed up. Finn is
I'm
like,
glad he finally said something. Shit.
Finn is like, bro, you doing all this for what?
He said, "You know what, man? You changed ever since you
Oh,
got
we
home."
was a gang. We don't play fair. Like, what is this crap? You trying to be like, you know, trying to be cool and trying to make sure that Dom is loyal to one woman. We a gang. We dirty. He dirty Dom. We out here playing. We played Xbox with the with the girl.
I think Carlito is hilarious, and I chose you. It's so fucking funny. Listen, I think this is a great story. This match is all storyline, and my radar will be up if this main events on the show over Cody for sure. I almost feel like, because the thing is with Cody is if he doesn't close, he opens. So I would totally believe that he's opening the show if that's the case.
I feel like the Cody thing will open the show.
Yeah,
I feel like you don't do a last chance thing and open the
right.
show with it.
Especially Rollins' first match back. Cody doesn't need the main event until SummerSlam, honestly.
Also, you got a nigga threatening to win the world championship on the show.
Right. And again, if you're gonna do that tease, Cody probably gets the big four main events, and that's probably how they balance things. So that would make sense there. But if this is main events, you've got so many moving parts here, Meelz. Meelz. You have the potential of the Money in the Bank earlier that night. You have the Judgment Day. You have Punk. You have so many moving Gunther. You have so many moving parts going on in this match that there's something that we're not seeing, and I'm wondering what rug they're going to pull here for this match. But what say you? What do you think? Who do you think is going to come out on top here?
I feel Rollins was never challenged for the thing of the Priest as a champion.
It's a cheeky way of saying he'll get it later, but just not right now. I think it's not ever. It's just until he loses. And Priest isn't long for this title anyway.
I'm gonna go with Damian Priest.
Yeah,
H isn't for a short reign by any stretch of the imagination, unless I guess you're Drew McIntyre. But I'm gonna go with Damian Priest. I don't even think he should. I don't even think. Well, fuck what I think. But I'm gonna go with Damian Priest. There's a reason they added this stipulation. I think they want to keep Rollins away from the title and have a good reason for it. I think they want to continue to build Priest up as a face. I think Damian Priest versus Finn Balor is eventually happening for that world championship. Mm-hmm. So, I think everything's pointing to Damian Priest in this one.
And it makes the most sense. It really just makes the most sense for it to
be.
They
could kick his ass out of Judgment Day, which is I feel like was going to happen anyway. It's like you won, but we're still going to fuck you up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I say a really valiant effort from Seth, but I think we started the spiral here. I think it seems as though they might have a really nice story and angle for him coming down the line, and I'm interested in seeing what they do here, because again, you have a really successful face run, and though I might not be in favor of them kind of letting that go right now, I'm interested in seeing where it plays out, because I think that Seth just has such a great reception at WrestleMania. I'm just like, why would you want to mess with that, right? But I'll see what they say, or not what they say, but I'll see what they do in this instance.
No, I agree. I also think, I don't know, something about, I feel like Rollins is still, I don't know, something about me. I feel like he's broken down. He's breaking down is what I feel like is happening.
They said the same thing about Shawn Michaels.
I mean, this is true. We'll see.
Well, why was that report from Fightful breaking news?
The one I just said?
I just saw the tweet, and it's in our Discord.
You want me to read the whole thing?
I saw it. What? There's a story?
There's a whole story. You want me to read it? I was gonna wait till we finish with the prediction.
what's something that stuck out to you in this story?
Okay.
I hate to interrupt.
Oh, listen, breaking news, right? Breaking news, right?
Yeah.
Swerve ended up being Ospreay, and we're told how things happened behind the scenes emulated how they played out on screen. Those we've spoken to said that Will Ospreay, who has been a long friend of Swerve's in real life and a foe in the ring, grew tired of seeing that Swerve's title reign was a placeholder for Ospreay to win the title at All In. They booking for the internet. Based on what we heard, Ospreay made the approach after winning the international title and wanted to show that nobody should be above losing to the world champion. Some, as in the company, claimed that the point was proven as a result. There were many that previously expected Ospreay and Swerve at All In, but were told that was never the plan, and both have different opponents planned. AEW sources have said that Ospreay has been a great to deal with in the company. He's often helped out when needed, including others ask for help putting together matches and stuff. It's
yeah,
I'm just
slurp.
considering yeah. It also said sources within the company close to Ospreay, I'm assuming Will Ospreay, tell SRS that Ospreay approached AEW higher-ups and extended his desire to put over Swerve to eliminate the talking point. This is so stupid. Why is this? Why are you booking a match so that I get you want to change your perception of Swerve, but you do that with a great story. You don't do it at the sacrifice of one of your other major talent to prove a point.
You do it with great stories, like kind of like how what we're talking about on this show that we're predicting right now. You know, maybe that's how you do it.
This is so stupid. This is like, I get what Will Ospreay wants to do, but I feel like one, you're too early in your AEW run to be thinking about all this stuff, and then two, it's not up to you to make sure that Swerve is a great champion. One, it's usually up to Swerve, and then two, it's up for the rest of the company, the creative company. So if the conversation around Swerve is that he's not a great champion or a transitional champion or anything, they need to change that, not you.
Oh
yeah, 6-man tag.
We'll do that last. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Io Sky versus Chelsea Green versus Lyra Valkyria versus Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi versus Zoe Stark. I think the Lyra Tiffany editions are very inspired. I think that there's a lot they can do there. Again, Lyra and Tiffany taking their rivalry all the way up to the main roster from a year ago is actually pretty cool to me. I think for them to be in this match, but Chelsea Green's there for the comedy, for the laughs. She's going through a ladder, and it's gonna hurt.
She's good in this. Also, she's from Canada, so.
Okay, yeah, you're right. She is from Canada. I forgot she just became a citizen like a couple months ago.
Yeah, she's definitely gonna get a major pop. I'm torn. I feel like legitimately anyone could win this.
Yep.
But
it was a heel last year, which is why I'm really not in favor of doing it again this year. That's why I have pause. So like, if I was to go with my head, I would go with Tiffany. But if I was to go with my heart, I would go with Naomi or Lyra.
I'm leaning towards Lyra.
Right.
Just because of how they booked her, I think they booked her incredibly strong up to this point. And I think they want her to be a strong cornerstone. They love Lyra. They just do. She had a little tan this week. I was like, okay, a little American son.
Main roster money. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I think having Io Sky, former Money in the Bank feud with Lyra, current Money in the Bank, that's money.
Yeah, that's a good story. I think Tiffany is penciled in to be with Nia.
Yeah,
that breakup to me is better than her winning the title. Tiffany's going to get the title one day. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
Like I don't think that's an issue or a question. I think she's got a lot of room with the women that she's on that roster with to actually grow a little bit more, especially in the event that Charlotte does come back and that match actually does happen. Like she's got
that Charlotte comes back.
There's a lot, I'm just saying there's a lot that can go down there. But I think that right now there are very few baby faces on Raw that could garner that type of attention, and Lyra is definitely one of them that could. And I think that they definitely need a boost. So I think Lyra should win. If I'm going with my heart, I think Lyra or Naomi, but I would lean towards Lyra. I think Naomi's good where she's at right now.
If you pick a Lyra, I'll pick Tiffany.
Okay, so I'll pick Lyra then. I think it's going to be a banger of a match. I'm wondering when they're going to put it on though.
Maybe second.
You want to follow potentially the 6-man. Salute.
Hey man.
So fucking loot. Let's go to the men's championship Money in the Bank contract match. Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre. There are so many people that could come out and ruin this match for so many people on this match.
Yeah. I feel like I'm eliminating mad niggas already.
Yeah, I'm eliminating LA Knight.
I'm eliminating LA Knight.
I'm eliminating Chad Gable for sure.
I'm eliminating Chad Gable.
Drew, the thing with Drew is
I'm not eliminating Drew.
I'm not eliminating Drew. I think it ultimately comes down to him and Jey.
Yes.
I think it comes down to him and Jey. And does Drew's tease come to fruition? Does Jey need the Money in the Bank?
If Jey needs Money in the Bank, I think.
You think so? Because if the idea is that you're going to put him in this bloodline story by hook or by crook, however that happens, they can't do that until November. You know what I mean? Like they ultimately cannot do that until they need, let's just say they're going to do Survivor Series again and it's going to be War Games. He'd be a perfect person to kind of come out and join the team, right?
This is true.
So I think that it's time for Jey to get something and to win the big one. And I think that like they've been teasing that he's never won the big one. This is a good one to have and to win. My question is, Meelz, if that is to happen, that would mean that Punk is for sure coming out during this match. Like, do you do Punk?
We'll know if Punk is there by like Thursday or Friday.
And I'm saying, like, does Punk come out during the ladder match or does Punk come out during him trying to cash in? Because that will determine a lot of things.
So I think if I'm leaning towards someone, I think definitely it's between Jey and Drew. I'm leaning more towards Drew. I think Drew, there's a lot more possibilities. He could cash in on someone on Raw. He could cash in on someone on SmackDown, to be honest with you. With Jey, I think it's finite, especially if we're going to have this bloodline story and we're going to continue it. I think the briefcase is going to be there, but it won't be used. Which maybe it's fine. I don't know.
It's probably fine. It's probably fine. I'm more intrigued with this one. My head goes with my, thinking with my head. I'm going with Jey Uso. Thinking with my heart, I would say Drew McIntyre because it's just a better story. But you can't keep having like Jey come up short, and that's where I'm kind of getting hung up on. It's just like he can't keep coming up short. I would just give him the briefcase, whether he wins it or loses it. I think it would be a cool moment. It'd also be a cool like just like full circle moment for him to win the title that he was supposed to win last year. You know what I'm saying? Like he could literally, if you want to have a really dope ass story, especially at SummerSlam, you have him cash in on Damian or Gunther after the match, and then you got a full storyline right there.
I think I'm gonna go with Drew.
Okay, I'll go with Jey then.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with Drew.
It's gonna be interesting when we come back and talk about this next week.
LA Knight, what the fuck?
No, Logan is for sure coming out with Tyrese. Tyrese Halliburton's gonna hit him on his kneecap.
Tyrese ain't going to no fucking Toronto, nigga. He ain't going no goddamn. He ain't on tour.
Oh my god!
It was just a great week for the nigga.
Finally, we have the 6-man tag match. They should just go ahead and make this a no DQ because that's what's gonna happen. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, or Jacob Fatu. The question is Jacob Fatu going to be in the match? I think he is going to be. I would not be shocked if we see Solo not even enter this match at all.
Yeah, I would say so. They're probably holding that out for the pay-per-view too.
Yeah. I would not be shocked if we don't see him at all. But we've seen very little, probably less of Tangaloa than we've seen of Solo in the last month. So you probably want to get Tanga out there.
No, that's for sure.
Make him earn his check. But what do you think? Like, what are the implications here? Because I think that, like, ultimately, if you do put Solo in there, I see a world where Cody and Randy and Kevin lose this, and Cody gets pinned by Solo, and that leads to your SummerSlam main event.
I don't think Solo is going to be in it. I just feel like I think this is more of a Cody doesn't lose a lot. And I don't think it's going to end up happening here either. I think they need to continue the story somehow. Maybe there's some way how they introduce Roman. I don't know. But I can't see Cody, Randy, and KO losing. They shouldn't lose. Also, there's that Cody and Randy thing that's happening.
At SummerSlam?
No. But Randy keeps giving this nigga's looks.
Randy always looking. All right, he can keep looking.
Well, he looking on purpose. Randy don't do nothing for nothing, bro. There's something happening there. I don't know. I feel like yeah, I'm gonna go with Cody, Randy, KO.
I'm gonna go with the Bloodline, the new Bloodline. I think this has been the most we disagree with one of these things in quite some time.
Yeah, it really could be anybody, but I'm gonna go.
It could be anybody, but I think that, like, I'm thinking of how you get there with Cody and Solo, if that's where you go, because there's no other real matches for Cody to have. They pretty much said, "Hey, you beat AJ. This is your next thing," right? So I don't know. Can I tell you something?
Sure.
I bought a WWE T-shirt. I bought one of their old little vintage, like, Stone Cold T-shirts.
Wow, look at you! You never wear fucking wrestling shit.
Well, it's a cool shirt, but
you didn't get the Cody full Cody.
No, I mean, no, was that shirt? Y'all want me to? I'll get it. Shit, I'll get that shirt.
Don't do that shit, bro.
So I got the shirt, and I like to take it very careful when I order shirts. And I was like, I'm gonna order this shirt, and I'm hoping that it's good. The quality is just terrible. The sizing don't really size.
Oh no.
Who makes these nigga shirts? I might as well just go buy one, like a vintage shirt off of eBay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate to hear because I bought the Jalen Brunson shirt.
Like, bro, I bought it.
But I buy these shits to work out in, so it is what it is.
I need to get another one then, I guess. I need to get another one. I got a 25% off code, which would make it like, and I got another code too, so I'll probably pretty much be free, but I need a do-over.
Yo, these fucking Money in the Bank shits they selling, niggas trying to get us looking like fucking Top Dollar. What the fuck? Let me show you this shirt, bro.
I really like this Kabuki Warrior shirt. It's kind of hard.
Let me see. Did I send you the right link? Look at this shit, bro. It's the Youth Pro Sphere white Money in the Bank basketball fashion jersey.
Oh no, they trying to make niggas look like 2003 John Cena.
They even try to make niggas look like Top Dollar. AJ Francis.
That's not hard at all. Don't wear that out. Don't wear that out at all.
Nah, not at all. They gonna sell them at the arena. Someone go buy them.
Oh, they will. I mean, I hear it's hot right now in Toronto. So
this show's good. How you feel about the Braun Breaker tee? He was wearing it last night.
Where's that at? Let me check.
Check the Braun Breaker. The big wolf shit that's on the front of his shirt.
Braun, there you go. Braun Breaker. It looked like one of the shirts you get at like the Army Supply shirt store. So. It matches. I can see this being popular though. I can see this shirt being really popular though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can see it being really popular. I don't think he had. Well, it's better than the "I got that dog in me" shirt, bro. Like I'm sorry, that's one of the worst. His babyface merch was some of the worst shit I've ever seen. Like his babyface merch was ass.
Make it Steiner, but not Steiner.
Yeah, like it's all colorful and shit. I got that dog in me is crazy. Just to wear, you know what I'm saying? I feel like Ilya needs better. Ilya needs better merch too.
All the Brock shit is on sale. If anyone needs if Fightful needs another scoop, Brock shit is on sale.
Yeah, find out why it's on sale. See what the Hit Row shit hitting for. The OG 3 shirts are $20.
Okay. Listen, man, we love a sale. I'll buy it. Listen, I'll buy. Here's my thing. I'll buy an old pay-per-view shirt just to wear to the gym, and them shits be like $5.
Who is Kaya Saint? She's never been on TV, has she?
Kaya Saint? She was on Level Up.
She got her own plaque.
Shout out to Kaya Saint. She put out a video. She's the girl who put out the video that was like essentially that got all the, I guess, women stan Twitter talking of like there's bullies in the NXT locker room, and I think that they're Cora and Roxanne. And I was like, yo, pussies were getting bullied by these two little girls.
Oh, they don't. My dogs are taller than those two. Like,
they're like 19 years old. Fuck out of here.
Out of here.
I wish they would.
Get bullied by children? All right.
Tell Shawn Michaels talk to me.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the show. We really got to run through WWE Shop. Like, just pick a name out of a hat and just look at their merch and see if we will wear it.
Santos Escobar's shirt is so fucking ugly.
Much like his fashion. Remember when niggas in the Discord tried to tell me that he could dress?
We gotta have the best dress conversations, though. You know what? Let me not. We need to end this show.
There ain't many. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Money in the Bank seems like it's going to be a fun show. They always are. So this is part of the course. We look forward to talking about it next week on the show. So until then, make sure you go check out that Obafemi interview. It's right now. It's on our Patreon. It's also out for everybody else. And check it out on YouTube as well, as you can see the actual video version of it. You see Cyrus's beautiful face on there, and Meelz too. Okay. But yeah, check that out there. So you got a lot of content to listen to this weekend. So you can check out that, and also check out NXT Heatwave as well, and as well as the War Report, where Cyrus and Quan will be talking about what they see happening on this show as well. So for Meelz, I'm Justin. Thank you guys for listening to the A Show. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.